All right, happy Wednesday night, everybody. Welcome on into the Hat Creek Interior Studios. You know, it could be a ranch, doesn't have to be a ranch, but you can live like you own the greatest ranch in the world when you've got furniture and accessories from Hat Creek Interiors in Lubbock, Texas. Showroom 10101 South Slide Road, hatcreek.us. Check it out. It's amazing stuff. All right, let's let you guys get in. You know what to do. The early arrivals, you let us know the audio is good, the video is good. Then you hit like, you give us thumbs up. You subscribe if you've not subscribed on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. And then we're off and rolling tonight. Top three Texas Tech football teams in your lifetime. I will amend this question to give you this out here. Three favorite Tech football teams in your lifetime, if you want to. It's What If Wednesday. Usually we ask the questions around here. Tonight, you ask the questions. You give us your what if. It's choose your own adventure, what if night. And then Texas Tech basketball, huge stretch. We're going to look at some numbers and what's out there for Texas Tech basketball over the next three games. And if they can go 2-1, that's big. And then you got Michigan turmoil. Hey, man, what is it? Women been derailing men since the dawn of time, right? Oh, well. Michigan trying to figure out how to fire a coach and not pay him any money. We'll see how it works out. There will be lawyers. Let's have a show. Let's find out what's on your mind on that United Supermarkets chat line in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. Easy to remember. Great website, in my opinion. We have lots of fun every day, except this morning. Here's the deal. No morning column today. Here's why. I had to take my mom to the doctor early. Times kind of got screwed up. And we just, by the time I would have had a chance to put together a column for you guys, it would have been dated. It wouldn't have worked. So I'm like, all right, we'll see you guys tonight on the daily broadcast. However, tomorrow morning, Thursday, we'll hit you hard. We'll have overrated, underrated, rated right Thursday, and all those great hot links waiting for you in the morning. Thanks to Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas, where I think you got a deadline coming up here in the next week to get your holiday orders placed so they can ship it to you. They're at Jackson Brothers Meat Locker. Jerky, get the jerky. Put the jerky anywhere. In the stockings, put the jerky on the platter, put the jerky. I don't care where you put the jerky. Get the jerky. All right. Brought to you tonight by Shropshire Insurance of Texas. Hey, big enough for the whole state, located right here in Lubbock, Texas, independent just like you. Don't wait till 2026 to get your insurance right. Give them a holler this week. Call Jeff Shropshire. Tell him Raiderland sent you. And then, of course, South Plains College, the road to Raiderland, it runs through Level Land, over 100 programs. Something's going to be right for you, your kids, maybe your grandkids, continuing education. Check it out. Go on their website, great Facebook page, all that good stuff. But South Plains College, a gym in Levelland, and a huge part of the educational complex in West Texas. Now, what are we doing on the United Supermarkets chat line? Well, now that the regular season and the postseason begins, and you've got a Big 12 championship, I think it's a fair question to ask right now. Top three Texas Tech football teams in your lifetime, or your three favorite teams in your lifetime. How do you rank them? What do you do? Right? This year, number one, right? It's got to be. If you're alive right now, this is the best football team in the history of football teams at Texas Tech. End of story. So it's number one right there. Where do you go after that? Right? And your lifetime depends on, wait for this, hold on, I've got to have a sip. Your lifetime depends on when you were born. Yeah, that's right. So I can't go 1938 Cotton Bowl team Elmer Tarbox, even though I think it's one of the greatest teams in Texas Tech football history. I can't go 1954 Getter Bowl team, Bobby Cavazos. I can't do that. You know, there are certain teams I can't utilize. So, happens. Top three teams in your lifetime, or your three favorite Texas Tech football teams. Maybe your favorite, maybe one of your favorite teams all time at Texas Tech. It didn't, win a whole lot of games, but you liked them. You give me that tonight. Then we got a lot of basketball to get to, and then the what if Wednesday, we look at alt history and say, what if this happened? What would the outcome be? Usually I give you guys the questions. For those who are new around here, and we're getting tons of new people coming to the broadcast, coming to theraiderland.com, following us on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media, subscribing to the YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, and Facebook as well. So our friend Robert Christopher, about a year ago, said, "What if we did a what if question?" And it's turned into What If Wednesday. This week, it's choose your own adventure. You give me the what if, I'll give you my best response. And then everybody who's paying attention and following along on the show tonight on the United Supermarkets chat line, they can get in as well. Let's get it going. And by the way, share this, invite people in. Clint's a good man, by the way. Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. In the lifetime, 76, Rodney Allison. The two losses to Nebraska in the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl, and of course to the University of Houston there in Lubbock. Great team, really great team. Until this year, I think the team that had the best chance to win the national championship of all Texas Tech teams. Not 2008, not even 1973, although I ranked 1973 ahead of 76. 1989, fun, overachieving team, 5 fifth-year seniors on the offensive line. And then 2008, mainly offensively. All right, so Clint goes with 76-89, and he leaves off this year's team. You can vote this year's team on, unless you guys want to go, all right, this year's team for Texas Tech is so far and above everything else that we'll go with other ones. James, thumbs up. He gets it. He knows what we're doing. Oh, Clint responds, sorry, I did include this season because it ain't over. It doesn't even have to be over. Let me put it, this is the greatest team ever in the history of Texas Tech football, okay? That's it. That's all. It's the best team ever. It's the best defensive unit ever. Offense ain't bad. And what they've done and how they've won and everything else, best team ever. Jeff is on our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, which you can subscribe to. We highly advise you to do that so you don't miss anything. Favorite teams, this one, the 08 team and the 89 team with Jamie Gills, 3rd and 26 against Texas A&M and Texas. That's all he did, just hit 3rd, and he wasn't even interested until it got to be 3rd and 26. It was like Roger Staubach at times in the 70s. Hold on, there's 8 minutes to go. We're down 2 touchdowns. I guess I'll quit screwing around and we'll go win the game now. I always thought that was interesting about, the Cowboys of the 70s and all the great, 2-minute drills and everything else. Why were they down? If you were that good, why were you down that much? How did that happen? He's the fake Natalie Maines. Or is he? We don't know. Gender testing not available here on Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Nor do we want to do it. First-time listener, long-time texter. We need Kalen DeBoer to leave for Michigan, and then Lane Kiffin to leave LSU for Alabama before he coaches a game to really take the insanity to the next level, just so you know. Love you. And for those who don't know, Sherrone Moore fired today at Michigan after a 9-3 season for allegedly having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. All alleged. Michigan firing with cause, trying to get out of paying, I don't know what it is right now, like $12 or $18 million. And it's just nuts up there in Ann Arbor. And wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful if Big Blue went down there and got Kalen DeBoer from Alabama and Lane Kiffin went to Alabama? I'm with you. That would be beautiful. Bottom line on the Michigan deal early on this, without knowing anything about it, here's the deal. If he'd beat Ohio State 2 weeks ago, if he'd beaten Ohio State 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was now, and this stuff was coming to light, he would be a colorful and eccentric winner and a character, and we love him, and we're going to work through this together. But he lost to Ohio State, and so they're mad, and they had a 9-3 season, and they're not in the playoffs, so they fired him. Dudes, free advice: don't let women screw up your life. Come on now. Clint, thumbs up, and I don't even know what it's to, but I agree completely. Let's see. If I promise to make you Microwave eggs every single day. Would you marry me? No. In fact, that would be grounds for divorce. Chris, Les Miles finally available to go to Michigan. Now's the time. And Randy Wade, how did you get your title at the bottom left-hand corner to say moderately level cool guy? Yeah. How does Facebook know that? Do they find this out from Wikipedia? No, that I'm pretty sure it came from Grok. Everything now comes from Grok. I mean, Google, dead, Wikipedia. To my knowledge, I'm not featured anywhere on Wikipedia. So I'm pretty sure it's Grok or most of my friends. Chris Moore has been detained by police now. Good Lord, that's spinning out of control quickly up there. This is escalated at Ann Arbor. Man. Jeff, maybe if you have a multi-million-dollar contract, a wife, 3 kids, you should probably have enough self-control to keep it in your pants. Allegedly. Allegedly. We'll see how it plays out. Obviously, doesn't look good right now. But again, if you're winning 11 or 12 games and you do this as a coach, once again, you're colorful, you're eccentric, you're fun. It's when you're not winning, you're not winning big, you're not winning big enough for the school. That's when all of a sudden they run you out. Bottom line, I mean, that's the way it's always been. Anywhere, everywhere. You can get away with anything if you're winning. If you're not winning, you get fired for stuff allegedly like this. Top 3 Texas Tech football teams in your lifetime. What if Wednesday? We typically ask you a what if question, and it's alt history. That if something in history changed, what do you think the logical outcome would have been if it had gone a different way? Tonight, we allow you to ask the question. We did this about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I loved it. It was really good. You guys did good. You know? And typically, you guys are always good on this stuff. Top 3 Texas Tech football teams in your lifetime, or 3 favorite Texas Tech football. Like the 1989 team will always be maybe my favorite team of all time. It was the first one I covered as a media member in 1989 with a media credential in the locker room, in the press box, doing all the locker roomy and press boxy and media type stuff. And one of my jobs that year is on the home games. I had to go interview the opposing coach. Well, I actually had to do that for a couple of years because, I was young, and that's what you do when you're a young media type. You don't get to do the home team. And I learned a lot on that. But the 89 team will always be one of my favorite teams. I knew every single guy on the team. We were going to school together. We were in classes together. That will always be it'll be my favorite team. Not the greatest team, but it'll probably be my favorite team. So you see how that works. Like, this is the greatest team in Tech football history. Where does 08? Where does 76? Where does 1973 rank? See, I get to claim the 73 11-1 team, which I consider the second best team all time. 6-1 in the Southwest Conference, finished 11th in the AP poll. They beat really good teams. The only loss, a really good Texas team when Texas was still good in the early 70s, 28-12 at UT. All right. I mean, that's the second best team of all time, better than the 08 team. They were much closer to championship level play than the 08 team. Well, how can you say that? They beat number 1 Texas and Lubbock and an Oklahoma State team. Yeah, and I saw what they did against Oklahoma. I saw what they did against Ole Miss. Jeff, what if Byron Hansford never took that shower? You want me to go where, Lord? Tech? Guns up. Ooh, drop my towel. He probably goes to Baylor at the time, if I remember right. Now, I need to talk to Don Williams. If I remember right, Baylor was one of the last suitors for Hansford in that recruiting cycle. He doesn't come to Tech. He doesn't run for 2,000 yards at Texas Tech, and he's not a part of the 95 season Air Force Weiserlot Copper Bowl win. And then you wouldn't have had the Byron Hansford rule, which basically meant if you didn't take your finals and whatever, you'd be ineligible for playing the next. Yeah, that was such a mess. That was such a stupid reaction to a guy who was going to the NFL. Byron Hansford doesn't take his finals. He'd gone to class all year long, doesn't take finals. He gets like a 0.98 GPA, didn't care, is going to the NFL. So they created this rule, and the only team it ever hurt, the only team it ever penalized was Tech baseball there in the mid-late 90s, and it hurt Tech baseball a couple of times. Joseph, what if there was a 12-team playoff in 1973 and 2008? Would Tech have got in three favorite teams? Gabe's senior year just because of him, 1989 and 08. Yeah, so 12 teams in 73, you ranked 11 in the final rankings. So those are the final rankings in 73. Yeah, you would have been in. In 08, you would have been in. If it's a 12-team deal, you would have had Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas Tech out of the Big 12 that year. So you would have been in a playoff, and you would have been high in the like that year would be like this year for the Big 10, or even better than the Big 10 because Tech was closer than the third place team out of the Big 10, or even Alabama. So probably better. No, yeah, you would have had three teams of Big 12 in right then for sure. Gabe's senior year, what was that? The 80? Now I get lost on Gabe's senior year. That was 81 or 82? 82 going into 83. I think it was 82. Fall of 82? Yeah. I think it was right. Boy, they weren't very good. They were just not very good by any stretch of the imagination. If you're just joining us tonight, you can fire away your own what if questions, sports or otherwise. Top three Texas Tech teams in your lifetime, or three favorite Texas Tech teams, however you want to play it. Texas Tech basketball, big stretch coming up. So while you guys get your questions, comments, and everything fired away, we can do a little Texas Tech basketball right now. So obviously you've got Arkansas coming up on Saturday. You've got Northern Colorado at home on the 16th of next week. And then you've got Duke there at Madison Square Garden on the 20th. Huge opportunity right now. And this is a good time to remind people, we pay attention to two websites here in Raiderland when it comes to college basketball. HoopsHD.com with our friend Greg Sherwood and his crew. They are tremendous. They do the best real-time analysis. They have what's called the nitty-gritty numbers, which in real time is computing what the NCAA would be looking at from a seeding standpoint. The other one is bracketville.wordpress.com with Dave Amon. And Dave, one of the best in putting together the bracket every year, and he updates it during the year, and he's got his brackets updated right now. And these are the two best sites. Screw Lenardi, screw all the other garbage national media. Nobody does it better than hoopshd.com and bracketville.wordpress. Real time and at the end of the year, that if you want to know what the bracket's going to look like, I mean, they destroy it on the bracket matrix. They're just the best at it because they don't bring agendas to it. Joe Lenardi brings in it. I don't know how Joe Lenardi has a job. He's horrible at it. So Hoops HD right now has Texas Tech on the 5 line, on the seed line, on the nitty gritty, which translates into 18th, which is why we say all the time, all the time, don't worry about the polls, worry about Hoops HD and Bracketville. 18 on that. Bracketville right now, Dave Amon has Tech as a 6 seed. And now I can't remember where he had them seated as a 6 seed. So a 5 seed and an 18, a Hoops HD, which I think is about right. What Tech's 16, I think, right now in the AP poll? Yeah, yay, go AP poll. So you look at Arkansas coming up, 17th in the rankings. They are Hoops HD. Hold on, I gotta look at my notes right here. 22 on Hoops HD. Got losses, Michigan State and Duke. They got a big win recently over Louisville. It's not bad. That's a good opportunity. Then you look at Duke. Number one, nitty gritty. Number one, whatever. So can you go 2-1 over the next 3 games? We're going to chalk up Northern Colorado. If you get that Arkansas win, you are playing on house money when you play Duke. Do you have to beat Duke? No. Can you play Duke to within 10 points, single digit, neutral court? I think they can. I think we saw finally there against LSU, an undefeated LSU team, not that high in the nitty gritties and everything else. But if you go 2-3 this week, and then you got Winthrop on the 28th, and then you start Big 12 play, that you put yourself in a position to play to a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. And I'm not going to say anything higher than that because the Big 12 is so stinking good right now in basketball that it's going to be a lot like the years when the ACC had 8 and 10 lost teams getting, 4 seeds. Big 10 a couple of years like that. That the Big 12 is going to cannibalize and beat up on each other. So you've got to get everything you can if you're Texas Tech in the non-conference, and that's it. That's it. Coming up, 2 of the next 3 games. Beat Arkansas, you don't, and Winthrop, of course. You don't have to worry about, or Northern Colorado. You don't have to worry about Duke. Keep it within 10 points, and you're fine. Christian Anderson announcing his presence with authority, by the way, the other day. JCTT, what if a 4-team playoff this year? How are we feeling? If it were a 4-team playoff this year, I think Texas Tech would have been in. They would not have had the TCU Baylor issue. They win a Big 4 conference in a year where the ACC obviously had problems. I think the committee would have absolutely said, yeah, Texas Tech goes in as the 4 seed. If it were only 4 teams, I think they would have been in. Law Dog on YouTube. Are YouTube comments more valuable? Nobody knows. We have no clue. Jeff, we need these 2 quad 1 wins, and we owe the Hogs for last year. In my opinion, you owe the Hogs all the time. And what better time to owe the Hogs during the holiday season when you can get your meat processed at Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas. They ship anywhere in the known United States, and you can still get your holiday meat processing done. So get some of that pork done down there this week at Jackson Brothers. Yeah, no, I always beat the Hogs. Yeah, 100%. I'm cautiously optimistic that this team, after what we saw against LSU this past Sunday, can beat Arkansas, and we'll see about Duke. All right, I don't know if this team's ready yet. They're still not meshing completely. They still got some issues at times defensively. I still think they take a preponderance of threes too many. 27 is too many. My sweet spot on threes is between 18 and 23 on a given night. Anything above 23, and I believe you begin to have that regression to the mean that just, I don't care how good a 3-point shooting team you are, it's just probably not going to continue to be that hot. That's long runouts, and against really good teams, length, rebounding, dunks on the other end. Don't do it, okay? 18, 23 max. Meanwhile, his name is Stephen L. May, not LeMay. Facebook, Ryan Heights Raiderland on Facebook. YouTube, Ryan Heights Raiderland. Subscribe, share. I really want to get to 700 subscribers by the end of the week. That'd be cool. 2025, best Texas Tech football team. 2008, third. 2005, all teams made major bowls, and I'm not old enough for the Gator Bowl season. Well, which Gator Bowl season? Yeah, so you're not old enough for 54. I'll give you that. 05, and I should not be one to dismiss the 05 season. The 05 season had its problems. It finished great. And at the end of the year, I think Sonny Cumbie was running the offense. We talking 04 or 05? Which one? 05 Cotton Bowl team? I didn't think. Actually, I thought the Sonny Cumbie team was actually better than that beats Aaron Rodgers, unless I'm getting my years flip-flopped. You know? Every now and flip-flop years. Cummie was that? Cummie team better than the Hodges team that lost in the Cotton Bowl. The Holiday Bowl team at the end of the year was a better team than the team that lost to Alabama in the Cotton Bowl. I got that right? Jeez. It's been a long day. Either way, 2025, 73, 76, 08. That's my top four. Favorite team, 1989. What are we getting on the transom there? Hey, Normie, yeah, what do we got there on the transom coming in? Can you imagine Cliff Clavin getting text messages at the bar at Cheers? That would have been great. Or even better than that, Norm getting text messages from his wife. Man, that would have been George Wendt getting text messages. What was his wife's name? Vera? Not Vera. Vera? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was Vera because Carla was the waitress. Yeah, 05 was Cody Hodges' Cotton Bowl team. They got hosed against Alabama. Sideline call, and then I still don't know how that field goal went through. Yeah, so 04, the Holiday Bowl team. Holiday Bowl team, I still think was better than 05. Randy Wade, Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer has announced he will not play in the college football playoff, choosing instead to sit out and begin full preparation for the NFL draft. Is this real? Is this breaking? Do I need to double check on a website of something to find out if this is really going on? That we're now seeing players opting out of the playoffs, not just the meaningless bowls. I'm not saying you're lying at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just like fascinated to see if this is what's going on right now. You know, Mateer obviously hurt, injured quite a bit of the year. Wasn't the same deal we thought. I'm just looking on Twitter on some updates. Not seeing that there. The Michigan story on CBSSports.com. Fascinating if that's going down. Again, I'm not saying you're lying or anything else. I'm just looking to see if there's a story on it. So if that's the case, should they take OU out and put somebody else in? No, of course not. Defense against LSU was the best it's been this season. If they keep that up, they can go 3-0, especially if Anderson is on fire. You're going to have Anderson be Anderson like he was against LSU. JT Toppin be his double-double. Atwell's got to shoot pretty good. You guys know the rest of the drill. I'm not saying they can't beat Duke. And then the defense, I thought, Saturday I thought they just moved. I thought they rotated out. They got on shooters. It wasn't anything special. They just got on shooters. JCTT 89 team. I'm in agreement on. Graduated and started NBA that year. Oh, congratulations. 89 team was fun. We had suffered through as Texas Tech fans from the late 70s. The last bowl game was 77 Tangerine against Florida State. Tech lost to Bobby Bowden, his first bowl win at Florida State in 77. And then DeBottom falls out of the program. You go to the 86 Independence Bowl. McWilliams leaves. Spike coaches as an interim. You get beat like 20-17 or 23-20, something like that. And you're just like anything. And all of a sudden, this 89 team was kind of a bolt out of the blue. 88 wasn't bad. Billy Joe Tolliver was coming on, and really emerging as a prolific potential NFL quarterback that year. You upset Texas in Lubbock like 38-33 or something. And then you had some maddening losses. I'm trying to think, was it 88 that they had to play Houston? If they beat Houston, they go to a bowl game and they tie or something. And no, 88 was the Tokyo Bowl. That wasn't the Houston game. Never mind. That was 87. Like all they had to do was beat Houston in '87. They tied, and the bowl reps couldn't get out of the Tech locker room quick enough to say, "Yeah, you're not going to the Independence Bowl or whatever." So '89 was a much needed. I mean, 9 wins just at that moment just sounded incredible. And again, we're going back to an 11-game schedule and everything else, but just an immensely likable team. The way they beat A&M, the way they beat Texas, got smoked by Arkansas. We don't like to talk about that. And they beat Duke and Steve Spurrier in the '89 All-American Bowl. And if I'd been old enough to bet, I would have made so much money on that game because of inside information, thanks to my brother, Danny Vaughn, Dagger Dan, and his Duke connections at the time, that they weren't even practicing. Good Lord. Spurrier had both feet out the door. They weren't even practicing. Just show up there in Alabama, and anybody who wants to play will play. I mean, if I had that kind of information today, just hammer drop on that game. All right. Last chance. Get your questions, comments in. It's been a fun show. We've enjoyed it. We're back with you in the morning. TheRaiderland.com. Overrated, underrated, rated, right. We got to rate things. You never know. Somebody might ask you a question about something you don't know. You're not ready. Well, thanks to us, you're going to be ready for a variety of subjects on overrated, underrated, rated, right. We're going to have this on the website in a little bit, TheRaiderland.com. I want you guys to share this with your friends, put it out there, have some fun. Let's get us 700 subscribers on our YouTube channel for Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. And if you're not with us on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media, you're missing out. Same thing on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. I got to hit buttons now. It's not easy. You think this job is easy? I got buttons I got to hit. I got to do things. I got to